What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Skybox Entertainment. My name, of course, is Turtlebert, and you guys? I mean, come on. You guys look great today. Alright, look, I took a couple of vacations. I went to Virginia for a weekend. I went to New York for a week. Gears of War 5 came out. It took me a week and a half just to put this together. Point is, I've been a busy guy, and since my absence, some shit has gone down.
Swore.
And frankly, we need to talk about it. So because of that, this video is going to have two parts. The first part is going to be talking about a very specific event that happened recently, but it's just context for the main topic. The main topic has actually been kind of a recurring theme here on my duck and cover videos, but it's something I've never addressed directly, which is, of course, some of the negative effects that memes has had on society, or better yet, some things that have transpired because of memes that otherwise probably would have never taken place, and how we got here as a society.
So let's just jump into it.
Dum-dum, dum-dum, dum-dum. There was a turtle by the name of Bert. I turn myself into a turtle, Morty. I'm Turtle Bert.
You're Bertle the Turtle.
I'm Bertle the Turtle.
Yeah.
And cover, duck and cover.
Where's Bert? If you haven't guessed it by now, we're of course talking about the Raid Area 51 thing that happened in late September. If you're one of the 6 people who hasn't heard about this meme yet, don't worry, I'm going to be going through it kind of bullet point style, just hitting the main things that happened before and at the event. If you want a more detailed, timeline of things that happened, The Insider actually posted a pretty good article which goes through the whole thing from beginning to end. I'll put a link to that down in the description. The most important thing to remember with this whole event is that it started out as nothing more than a shitty Facebook group event. It was made by a college kid named Matty Roberts. He was a member of this meme page on Facebook, so he made this fake event to raid Area 51. They can't stop all of us. The whole thing was obviously ridiculous and clearly satirical. The guy that made it, Matty Roberts, obviously did not expect this to go anywhere. He just made it online, shared it to get a couple likes, thought it was funny, but within a few days it went viral. Over 2 million people clicked that they were going to raid Area 51 on September 20th, 2019. Now, I would imagine anytime a Facebook group gets this much publicity, especially for surrounding small towns of an area, it's gonna raise concern by local residents. Apparently the FBI got involved, the Air Force tweeted some stuff out. To put it lightly, it became a clusterfuck really fast. And if I can make a quick comparison, this Facebook group is really no different than the GoFundMe page that I made to try to get people to help me hang out with Cliff Bleszinski, who is one of the main guys behind the Gears of War series. Difference is, this Facebook group specifically said to raid a military installment, and over 2 million people signed it. So in layman's terms, Matty Roberts is clearly much better at social networking than I am. Also, if you want to know why I made that stupid GoFundMe channel, click that link right there, or check out in the description. We have a gaming channel, and sometimes we upload videos there. Okay, that's enough of a shameless plug. So after this shitstorm of a raid started to form online, Matty Roberts tried to make a legitimate event for a neighboring small town in Rachel, Nevada. I think it's Rachel. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that.
Rachel.
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 Rachel. Rachel. Rachel.
He actually partnered up with some local hotel owners and created Alien Stock, which was meant to be an event to celebrate aliens, hang out, listen to music, so on, etc., etc. Well, that's fine and dandy, but all the small surrounding towns was pretty concerned that they couldn't house the amount of people they were expecting to show up. Again, over 2 million people signed this thing, and now it's a legitimate, or in the works to be a legitimate event. You don't know what percentage of these people might actually show up now, because it's no longer just a joke, there's an actual event tied to it. And what ends up happening is Matty Roberts ends up canceling Alien Stock because he didn't want it to, quote, be a Fire Festival 2.0, which admittedly is probably the smartest thing that has happened since all of this began. And now that you've been briefed on the events that led up to September 20th, or the raid, we need to talk about what actually happened. Nothing. It was pretty dead in the water, which is a good thing. That's probably the best thing that could have happened. Instead of 2 million people swarming Area 51, a few hundred just hanging out is probably... I call that a win. Now, the actual number of attendees to this thing, it varies, and it really depends on which news article you're reading, whatever political bias you're following through. I've read reports of 50 people, upwards of 500. It did supposedly last multiple days. I don't know if that's just the weekend or what, but there's no really hard number on how many people was there over the length of this thing, and it's not like anyone was there with the counter clicking everyone that showed up to the gate either. So we could say a couple hundred-ish to be general, just for the sake of this conversation. Well, what actually happened at the event, I hear you inquiring out loud in the privacy of wherever you're watching this video. Don't worry, I have an answer for you. It was just these small groups of people standing in various locations, all dressed up in equally ridiculous alien-themed attire, just filming each other like, ooh, what's gonna happen now? And that's it. They were pretty much just kind of hanging out. I mean, there was a couple small sound stages set up so DJs and bands could play music. There was a couple vendors that showed up to sell alien-themed accoutrements or whatever, but for the most part, it was just YouTubers and other people just hanging out, filming people for clickbait titles and to just say that they rated and that they were there. The people that did go seemed to have a good time, but for the most part, this thing was very dead in the water, which is, again, I cannot stress this enough, a good thing. But unfortunately, stupid people are stupid, and the event wasn't 100% innocent. There was at least 3 people arrested and 1 detained that I could find information on. It actually started on September 10th, 10 days before the Raid Area 51 event was set to begin. 2 YouTubers, I think they were Norwegian, was filming themselves like breaking into Area 51, I'm assuming for content, because yeah, it's relevant, so I get why you do it. I just don't get why you're stupid enough to go through with it. Naturally, they were arrested. I don't know exactly how long they were arrested for, what their total fines ended up being, but various reports said various different things. So, but the point here being 2 YouTubers showed up 10 days early and was arrested breaking into Area 51. And then the actual event happened on September 20th. Really, all that I can see is 1 person was detained, but I'm not actually sure why they were detained. I couldn't find any information on that specifically. And then another gentleman, and yes, I'm using the term gentleman quite loosely here, was arrested for urinating on the Area 51 fence. Just take a moment to soak all that in. I should have picked a different phrase. I mean, either way, I think it's pretty safe to say that he won't be allowed within 500 feet of any federal building, or public school for that matter. So, in conclusion, stupid people are stupid. Now, this is all fine and dandy, but why am I making this video? Other than a couple people getting arrested and some others having a good time out in the desert, why am I sitting here bitching about this event? Well, 2 separate counties, Nye and Lincoln, I believe, which was surrounding counties of the area, went into state of emergency, or more specifically signed emergency declaration before the event started. Now, if you don't know what that means, don't worry, we're going to look it up together just so we can see the implications on what signing an emergency declaration might actually mean. A state of emergency is a situation in which a government is empowered to perform actions that it would normally not be permitted to do. Now that sentence is kind of vague, but a little scary if you really read into the context of it. A government can declare such state during a disaster, civil unrest, or armed conflict. We are comparing this to armed conflict. Such declarations alert citizens to change their normal behavior and orders government agencies to implement emergency plans. So again, to recap, this random Facebook event group that this guy created at 3 o'clock in the morning because he was bored and wanted to be funny has sent 3 people to jail, has gotten 1 person detained, and has sent 2 separate counties into state of emergencies, which they have the provisions to implement the same things as like a terrorist attack or a natural disaster. And I'll be the first to admit, I'm not the most law-savvy person, so if I have a misunderstanding of state of emergencies, or there's more details that I'm missing about it, please inform me, educate me in the comments down below. But, with all of this out of the way, we can now finally talk about the topic that I want to rant about today, which is the effect memes have on society or how society behaves. And I'm not talking about things where like a meme has made somebody famous or jump-started their career. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the negative effects. The only thing that I can remotely compare that to off the top of my head is the whole Tide Pods thing, which is, I'm pretty sure, something everyone's aware of, but essentially, you know, Tide released these laundry detergent pods, and kids thought they were candy, so they were eating them. There were these reports of kids going to the hospital or dying or whatever because they were eating laundry detergent. People found these articles, thought it was funny, started spreading these memes online. The Onion posted a fake article about it. It gained massive popularity as a meme, and then YouTubers and other people online alike started actually eating Tide Pods as a joke or a challenge or whatever it may be. My point being, the Tide Pods thing started out as a pretty messed up joke, but a meme nonetheless that gained rapid fire to the point that it actually started to negatively affect people's lives. And this is where I would say probably the same thing with Area 51. Now, yes, I mean, only a few people were arrested here or detained, but the fact that we have to issue states of emergencies and potentially affect like a citizen's day-to-day life and stress all these people out is kind of ridiculous considering it's just a Facebook group. Now, in defense of those counties, I don't blame them for signing emergency declarations. I don't at all. Like, if someone started a Facebook group called Raid Turtlebird's House with my exact location and 2 million people signed it, I'd be calling the police. I would be trying to do something about it. So I totally understand why they did that. It's just the simple fact that they had to because of a joke online. Memes have evolved and expanded so ridiculously fast over the past few years. They started out as like dumb little pinwheel color things of like stupid relatable characters, and this is where we are now.
Next! Me! No, actually, we're done. Oh, but we have time for bonus! Me! Bonus!
I am curious to know what you guys think of the raid, or if you know of similar events that have happened, like the Tide Pod thing, like the Raid Area 51 thing. Let me know those down in the comments. I would love to talk about this kind of stuff with you. Anything you say, I will personally reply to. I don't know how much of this taps into this PC culture that, as a society, we're kind of going for right now, which, you know, whereas you can't joke about certain things, you can't talk about certain things. You have a lot of comedians on one side that's very much going to fight the grain, and they're going to say what they want, and they're going to offend people, and that's the point. And then you have a lot of people that say that offensive jokes or dark comedy, you know, it affects society in a negative way. And I don't think it directly, this doesn't directly compare to that in the sense of it offending somebody, but I don't know that it would have had the outreach or backlash that it did if PC culture and taboo conversations and jokes weren't something that wasn't extremely prevalent in mainstream media right now. This is something stupid. I could have imagined seeing this post on, I don't know, 9gag 9 years ago, and like it would have had a few hundred upvotes or whatever they do there, but they wouldn't. It would never have gotten to this point. So how and why did it get there now? I don't know why I said 9gag. I've never actually used 9gag in my life. Reddit is what I should have said. So my question is, did this gain as much publicity as it did because of the PC, you can't joke about this or that society that we live in? Or is that two completely separate things? You let me know. The thing that I worry about with it is there's going to be copycats. There's already a copycat. And it's like Swarm the Bermuda Triangle, they can't swallow us all. Now that one's obviously insanely ridiculous, but at some point this joke's going to get so watered down to where people are going to be posting like pseudo-terrorist things, where it's like Swarm the White House, or, you know, like just various other things. And And that's concerning. Like, Area 51 is a military installment, and that's big cause for concern as to why they responded the way that they did, and it's completely understandable. Bermuda Triangle, okay, clearly just a spin-off joke. It's even more ridiculous than Area 51 is. But at some point, people are going to could start seeing these things and creating more and more copycats that just get watered down over time until they're not even really the same joke anymore, to where it's more of a cause for concern. I guess what I'm rambling about and trying to say here is I would hate to see copycats turn this into something that could be more akin to like a terrorist threat in a more populated or bigger area. As a society that wants to be integrated, especially with technology, and we want to joke around, we want the freedom to joke around, we want to have stupid things like this that doesn't get national attention and cause such a big backlash or whatever. How do we do that? How do we have, you know, these places where we can joke around and everything is safe to joke around, but also not have this kind of outcome where it's literally affecting someone's day-to-day life? And maybe I'm blowing this whole thing way out of proportion, but again, and I hate to keep reiterating, but the fact that 2 counties had to go into a state of emergencies because of a Facebook group is beyond ridiculous, and I don't think in history we've ever seen something quite similar to that. Let me know, because I can't imagine, you know, in the 70s this kind of thing would have happened. But they also didn't have the means to communicate the way that we do now back in the 70s. So are we in a vicious cycle where we are the kind of the victims of our own demise with this kind of thing? Or is it all by chance and completely coincidence and taken completely out of proportion? You let me know. That comment section is down there for you. I will personally reply to anything you leave me. I just want to say a couple things real quick before I wrap this up. First off, thank you so much for all the love we got over the last couple videos. The one that we posted on this channel and the one that we posted over on our gaming channel. Both those videos got the most views naturally I think most of our videos have ever gotten, without me spamming it or posting it on like random Reddit like feed. I didn't have to really promote it, and it got over 100 views. And I know for a lot of people that doesn't seem like a lot, but for me, that's a big deal. And I got a lot of comments and support for those videos, so thank you. I hope that I can keep delivering at the same quality. I also just wanted to give a shout out to Brooke. She's one of our subscribers out there. She actually made me this super cool pink and blue and gray Skybox themed armband, so thank you for that, Brooke. And lastly, I just want to address the channel as it is. I will be trying very hard to stick to a 2-week rotation on Skybox Entertainment. Meaning, instead of jumping one video Skybox Entertainment, one on the gaming channel, and kind of jumping between them, I'm going to be doubling down and focusing heavily on this channel, as I've been doing this channel for over 4 years, and it's really the bread and butter of what I want to do on YouTube. So I'm going to be really doubling down on my content on this and trying to get a video up on this channel every 2 weeks. If they don't come out every 2 weeks, I'm not going to stress out about it. They're going to come out when they come out. I've spent too much time over the last 4 years stressing out about upload times on videos, and it just leads to me uploading even less frequently or disappearing for months. So I'm going to try to stick to a 2-week rotation, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And in between working on videos for this channel, I'm still going to be putting stuff together for our gaming channel, so please go check that out. And with that, that's all I have for you this time. I think in my mind I was expecting a longer rant about the negative effects on memes in society. I just think we need to be more careful about how we approach and react to memes. I guess is a quick summary. But that's all I got for you guys this week. I actually made it a full video without wearing a hat, so I hope you're proud of me. I'll see you next time. Peace. That was a pretty good take, I think. Okay, here we go. So because of that, I almost made this gesture for this take, and I learned that this is now super offensive. Welcome to 2019, people. The OK sign is offensive. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Skybox Entertainment. My name, of course, is Turtlebird. And no, that was terrible. All right, look. I took some time. Okay, look. All right, look. I went on. All right, look. Okay, look. I took some trips. Okay, look. I've been gone. Okay. And if you're one of the 6 people out there that haven't heard about this from either any... that was a bad stumble. If you're one of the 6 people that haven't heard about this yet, I just get derailed sometimes. Which is probably the smartest thing that's happened since this whole thing began. I shouldn't do that. With as much shit as PewDiePie got, I was just trying to emphasize like just the whole thing. I'm not doing the Nazi thing. Let me be very clear. Really, that's about it. With an asterisk. Sorry, I did the okay thing again. I'm sorry.